We love making hybrid tomato seeds here at Fruition Seeds because we love this tomato, Brandywise, that is the best of both worlds. And it is this parent line, 79, from Cornell University, super resistant to late blight, early blight, septoria, leaf spot. And we cross it with Brandywine that's behind me. And Brandywine, of course, is the quintessential heirloom that has all of that amazing flavor and no disease resistance. So when we cross them together, we get the best of both worlds, and this is why we're doing exactly what I'm about to show you. So it's a little wild. We take the male, the pollen, from the Brandywine flower, and I'm going to collect it into this little petri dish using this handy dandy ancient toothbrush that only is used for tomatoes, and we take the head off so we have even more acuity with that vibrating tip. And so I'm going to carefully be holding it, the flower, and over the petri dish so I can collect the pollen. I turn on my toothbrush, and I wish you could be as close as I am. Pollen is just falling out in lovely cascades. And from there, I set the pollen gently, carefully aside, and I dive into the 79, which will be the female parent of Brandywine. So important tools for the trade, a nice, sharp, very narrow pair of tweezers. And take a look at this flower, friends. So there's a window of when these female flowers haven't pollinated themselves yet. They're not fully open, but the stigma, that female receptive part, is still receptive. And so this is perfect. Take a look. Think of a tomato flower. That flower is bright canary yellow. These petals are still totally white. So the anther cones inside, which are going to produce the pollen, are still lime green, slightly yellow, but they're not canary yellow. They haven't begun to form the pollen yet. But that stigma inside will be marvelously receptive. So I come in with my tweezers, and I'm carefully taking off the sepals, carefully taking off the petals, carefully removing the entire anther cone. And there we have the stigma, which is the receptive part, on the style, holding it up above the ovary, which will blossom, becoming that fruit that we all love so well. So now I take my petri dish again, and I tap all of that pollen down into the corner, and I simply tuck that stigma, the receptive female part, into the male pollen, and from there I'll label it and let it begin to form. You can see this one that I pollinated 2 days ago. That ovary is already starting to swell, and it's pretty exciting. This will be covered in fruit, and this fruit is going to be the 79 fruit, not the Brandywise fruit. It is the seeds inside that we will collect, and those seeds are the ones that go in your Brandywise packet and will produce the fruit that is the best of both worlds, having that delicious heirloom flavor with all of the disease resistance, pairing Brandywine and 79. So now you know. There's a few less seeds than you might expect in the packet. Generally there's 10, and we do 20, 25 in other packets because we don't have to do this. We let the bees do it. But we are hand pollinating all of these hybrid tomatoes and making the best of both worlds so that you can enjoy more abundance even in our short seasons.